Well, I'll be damned. You actually did it. Nuka World is ours. All of it.
Why are you acting surprised?
Hey, no disrespect, boss. You've just gotta understand. We ain't ever been on ground this solid before. Now that we're here, let's keep this party going. I'm thinking it's time we set our sights on the Commonwealth.
Why bother with the Commonwealth? Don't we have everything we need over here?
That sounds like Coulter talking, boss. Ain't a good sign. Taking back Nuka World is a big friggin' deal, no question. But it can't be the end of things. Needs to be a beginning. These bunch of savages need a goal, something to focus on. If they ain't got it, they'll wind up turning on each other. In an operation this big, we're gonna need more of, well, everything. Nobody's gonna hand it to us. We need to take it. Commonwealth has a ton of shitty little settlements that could be put to better use. Don't you think?
Sounds like you've had this plan from the beginning.
The ideas crossed my mind, sure. But I'm just making suggestions here. You're the one that needs to give the go-ahead. We don't gotta rush into this headlong. We take it slow. Be smart about it. If we're aiming to grab a piece of the Commonwealth, it's going to take the right contacts and a lot of muscle. Right? I say we go have ourselves a chat with Shank. He's the point man for everything entering and leaving Nuka World. He floated this idea before. Been itching to talk to you ever since you took over. So I bet he's got a good idea of where to start. He's in charge of the caravan, so odds are you can find him somewhere near the marketplace.
You trust this Shank guy?
You ought to know by now. I don't trust anyone. But Shank's on the level. I got no reason to think he'd screw us. Especially if he stands to profit as much as anyone.
If you're vouching for this Shank guy, that sounds good enough to me.
Yeah, sure. How else do you think he ended up at the top of my Christmas list? Just head over and talk to the guy. He'll back up what I'm saying about the Commonwealth. And while you're doing that, I've already got the gangs working on getting Nuka World's power plant up and running. It's about time we shed some real light around here and let people know we mean serious business. Oh, and if you need my advice and you want me to keep tagging along, you've got it. Hey boss, can we talk now?
Can we do this later?
Fine. Nothing that can't wait. Hey boss, can we talk now?
Word is, super mutants just hit the place. They're still trying to rebuild. Should be easy pickings.
If there's anything left. How good is this source of yours?
It's good, Shank. I don't bring you bullshit.
And I'd like to keep it that way. Here,
Hey boss,
earn
can
this.
we talk now?
Anything else you find out?
Shank, you'll be the first to know.
Well, look who it is. Liking what you've done with the place, boss. Gang certainly seem pleased with their new little kingdoms. Haven't seen people this revved up since last time someone spiked the water fountains. Never formally introduced myself. Name's Shank. And if you and Nuka World's favorite Cyclops are standing here, well, I suppose he expects you might be the one to finally get things back on track. How long did it take him to convince you it was time to move on the Commonwealth?
Hey now, no convincing, just a friendly conversation between like-minded individuals.
And what makes you think I've been convinced?
Well, if you aren't yet, you sure as hell should be. Giving the gang spots to call their own around the park, it bought you some goodwill. But providing them with their own domains, carved from the settlements of the Commonwealth, well, I can't think of a better way to solidify your place around here. Plus, make us all a pretty penny along the way. If that interests you, well, all you've got to do is say the word, and we can let the fun begin.
I wanted to ask about your role in this.
I'm listening.
Which gang do you work for?
Don't work for the gangs. Gage brought me in to work for the overboss. Plan was I'd advise Coulter in his grand scheme to run roughshod over the Commonwealth. And despite Coulter's change of heart, I've kept my ear to the ground, just in case that day ever came. I'm hoping today might finally be it.
What is it that you get out of helping me do this?
I've been well taken care of up to this point. I ain't greedy, but people with my kind of talents aren't common. All I'm looking for is a continuation of the lifestyle I've become accustomed to, and the same piece of the Commonwealth pie everyone else around here has been itching to take a bite of.
So, what exactly is it you do?
I'll walk you through all the ins and outs of getting us established on the other side of those mountains. Claiming territory, running jobs, keeping folks loyal. Gage and Coulter also tasked me with keeping on top of the goings-on back there, so I'll provide you with guidance on the places we can hit and the places we can't. Kind of makes me your one-stop shop for causing havoc in the Commonwealth.
That was all I had.
So, does that mean you're ready to begin?
Okay, let's get started.
Music to my ears.
Shank ain't kidding. This is gonna be all kinds of fun.
So getting us set up in the Commonwealth's gonna require 3 things. Territory, provisions, and loyalty. First things first, territory. We're gonna need to claim a settlement for our gang to work from. An outpost. And there are 2 ways to claim new territory. You can head in yourself and convince the locals to leave. Or I can get a crew together and you all can put them in the dirt. How you do it is up to you. So, first big decision. You want to talk them off their land? Or you want to wipe them out?
I think you know what I'd rather do, boss.
Is there a difference between the approaches?
Well, settlers will probably rally some bodies if you try and wipe them out. But it's a guaranteed way to claim a spot. If you try to scare them off their land, there's a chance they might just tell you to take a hike. At that point, you might be able to buy them off. But it could end up getting expensive if you don't work them over a bit first. Beyond just that, there are some places out there overrun with trouble. Ghouls, children of Adam and the like. Those places aren't going to be interested in having a chat. So you're going to have more options if you go in guns blazing.
Let me talk to them. I'll convince them to leave.
Works for me. Once you've planted your flag in the place, I'll send a crew in to set up shop. Now, next up, you'll have to pick who you want to hold your outpost once it's established. Of course, every outpost you claim for a gang is going to be something the other gangs don't have. And none of them like the thought of their rivals getting a leg up on them. Worth thinking over as you dole out more territory. So, which gang should I have join you once you've staked your claim?
The operators.
Got it. I'm sure they'll appreciate you thinking of them.
I bet you they can manage to keep looking bored through the whole thing.
That just leaves the target. Now for a new outpost, you'll usually want to target a spot with plenty of populated settlements nearby that might be able to feed our people later on. Taffington Boathouse, Croup Manor, Greentop Nursery, The Slog all had a good number of farms within striking distance last I checked. Though I'll need to go through my notes again. Make sure they're all still good to target. We're not always going to be able to run every job against every settlement. So, you ready to pick the spot for Nuka World's first new homestead?
We can't target certain settlements with certain jobs?
Unfortunately. Can't talk people off their land if there's no one around to talk to and the like. Most cases, I'll try to let you know why we can't target a place. But the biggest hindrance is if there's already some activity going on there. Though if that is the case, that Pip-Boy of yours might be able to give you some info on whatever might be blocking us hitting that spot. Now, you ready to pick that first settlement?
What were those targets you'd recommended before?
Croup Manor, Taffington Boathouse, Green Top Nursery, and The Slog. Again, I can't guarantee those will all be available targets till I check my notes. But if they are, they're certainly a good place to start. Now you ready to make your decision?
I'm ready.
Good. So, where do you want to hit? Alright, that one'll work. So, to get these folks to scram, you got two main options. Buy them out, or scare them off. Either way, the more afraid they are, the simpler or cheaper getting them gone will be. Lizzie Wyath over with the operators should have some toys that'll make running them off easier. And it's worth keeping in mind, the more populated or fortified a place is, the more prep you're gonna want to do before trying to run them off. Scare them good, boss.
Hey, boss, can we talk now?
Can we do this later?
Fine. Nothing that can't wait. Hey, boss, can we talk now?
Welcome back. Not supposed to hurt the other gangs. No rule against tricking them into hurting each other, though.
Nuka World is a trap for fools, and an opportunity for those who recognize it.
Hey,
Over, boss. A pleasure. Shank said you might need some tools to ease relations with the people of the Commonwealth. Well, you've come to the right place. I've put together a couple of toys that should make getting what you want out of those rubes easier. Only thing we ask in return is that you remember the operators when you're handing out new territory on the other side of the mountains.
what exactly have you got?
So, first up, something to manipulate a target. It's a homemade distillation brewed to mimic human flight pheromones. Toss one of these grenades at the feet of your target, and convincing the wary settler suddenly becomes a much simpler affair. Now, to function effectively, I had to make the formula precise. So it's not going to work on people in any of the big towns like Bunker Hill or Diamond City, nor on caravanners. But for your purposes, hitting settlements out in the Commonwealth, it ought to give you a serious edge.
So, it only works at settlements. Are there any other restrictions I need to know about?
Nothing beyond that. I've been trying to get the formulas working better for more varied environments. But for now, the current brew should serve.
Take any advantage I can get.
Well, this should give you one. Here. Only had enough to make the one locally. But you can take the recipe as well, should you find yourself wanting more. So, the other trick up our sleeve is a little more broad spectrum than the grenades. Gulp down a couple lungfuls, and anyone you speak to will be far more apt to give you what you want. Plus, I've winnowed down the addiction risk to near zero, so no need to fear repeat usage. Here. Ingredients for that one have been tricky to find, but between that and the grenade, you should have no problem getting at least one settlement under your control before you have to brew up your own. And just remember us when you're crushing those poor settlers underfoot, hmm?
Supporting the operators. Smartest thing a lot of us have done in our lives.
Hey, something I can do for you?
Are you the one in charge around here?
About as much as anyone, sure. Now you want to tell me what it is you want?
There's a gang of raiders coming for this place. Mine. But if you leave right now, I promise you, we won't have any problems.
You want this place? Listen, not trying to piss you off here, but I'm not sure that's going to work. This is home.
Look, I'm trying to help you here. You need to go. Now.
Oh, that's how it's gonna... Fine, take it. Place is all yours.
Hey, boss. You want to rest for a minute? This would be a good place to do it.
Hey, you.
I'm going. Land's yours, okay?
Understanding the operators ain't hard. We know how to live. The other gangs? Dying is more their strong suit.
Anyone who goes up against us won't know what hit them. Yeah, I'm thinking this place will do. At least once we get some supplies coming in. You ought to head on back, boss. Let them know how it went.
Well. Rumor going around is that some big bad raider boss strolled into the Commonwealth and talked a group of settlers right off their land. Not too shabby.
It's a damn good start.
I'll make sure your cut of any caps the outpost pulls in are waiting in your quarters.